Mom, Dad, I'm black. What?
Hell, the 1980s! It's Good News Week! And on a Sunday, it is not necessarily the case for a one Mindy No-Neck Kaling herself. The Velma TV show, the animated new take on Velma from Scooby Doo from the 1960s because, well, it's 2023 and this is what we're doing. We have so-called creatives.
Basket weaving, the creative choice.
Who have no idea what to do, so they take an existing IP, twiddle it about here and there, squeezing the old nipples, and then out they come with something that is absolutely god-awful terrible. And speaking of which, the amount of backlash this show has gotten from its first 2 episodes. I will say this much, when I watched the first episode, you have to remember I was watching this in the dead of night to get you bozos a review. And I didn't know before the very diverse shower scene with ladies of diversity that it was set in a high school. What can I say? This is from the mind of Mindy Kaling. She puts this stuff in there to think it might cause a bit of a sensation, and it has for all the wrong reasons. So Newsweek have actually covered this, which is pretty amazing. They're a pretty good publication. I've read their stuff on and off over the years. Mindy Kaling's, is it Mindy Kaling or is it Mindy Kaling? How do you pronounce her bloody surname? Velma sparks backlash amongst Scooby Doo fans over race. And of course, you know where this narrative is going, don't you already? The Mystery Inc. are back, but in a different way to what fans might expect in HBO Max's Velma, which premiered on the 12th of Jan. The difference between Velma and previous series and films in the Scooby Doo franchise is that this time Velma Dinkley is taking center stage in an adult animation set before the classic show. Before? Okay. Well, it can't be before because you're talking about modern day sensibilities. So I think what they meant to say was, this can't be a prequel show, surely not. That wouldn't make any sense. Of course, if you haven't seen the first 2 episodes, there's a bit of a running joke about Velma Dinkley because she's of Indian origin, that she's incessantly hairy all over, a bit of a female Sasquatch, if you get my drift. If you're an Indian person watching Velma and you see your race being characterized that way, wouldn't you have some issue with that? Because I think that's a very terrible take. So we know about the origins, and yeah, now this part actually blew my mind. Okay, so I talked about the fact that not only have we got a race swapped, Shaggy is now Norville. I mean, the only Norville that I know is an English white comedian who likes to say, "Chase me, oh chase me." Very funny dude, by the way.
God, chase me. That's the first one that's done that.
Daphne Blake, I said she was voiced by Constance Wu. I didn't know Daphne Blake is actually Asian in this show. I mean, case in point, you've got a redhead here, which is Daphne, and there are no features or anything to suggest to me that she's Asian. I can't tell from this. So that was an absolute shocker. Oh, wow. But we... Oh, Hollywood, you continue to shoot yourself in the foot and you wonder why people are so turned off by every single thing that comes out. And I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. Cinema will continue to suffer. Movie theatres like Cineworld, the IMAX, the Mezzanine, round your way in the West End of London, they're all going to suffer. You know why? Because there's going to be a lack of good film releases to put on show for the general public. It might even end up being that you have to go back to some classic bygone French movies, Indian movies, old forgotten American classics as a re-screening because they have nothing else to show. And whether you get people to come out and watch those will be another case in point. But, you got to listen to this wonderful dialogue here. The Mindy Show star, Kaling, explained why she and showrunner Charlie Grandy decided to make Velma Indian in an interview with Entertainment Weekly magazine. Kaling said, "We knew it would be fun for me to play Velma, because you can't hire another Indian actress, can you? But we had a conversation where Velma is white, and we have this new choice to do the show. And if I'm voicing her, should she be white or should she not?"
Can we blame him for the color of his skin?
We're going to get to the crux of this. We were really inspired by they had to put it in parentheses, the animated Spider-Man film, Into the Spider-Verse. It's animation. We can do anything. Because, again, I've got to say it, but Miles Morales is Miles Morales. He's not Spider-Man. Peter Parker, he's Spider-Man. The essence of Velma is not necessarily tied to her whiteness. And I identify so much as a character. And I think so many people do. So it's like, yeah, let's make her Indian in this series. David Addison, as played by Bruce Willis in Moonlighting, a white guy, someone who I strongly identified with back in 1985, and I still do to this day. So what the fuck are you talking about, Carling with no neck? Oh, that's another funny thing actually, and I can't take credit for this, but when you look at the representation in the cartoon, yeah, our Velma, she's got a neck. So go figure that one out. Despite this, viewers appeared divided by the decision to race swap several characters in Velma, and some took to Twitter to share their opinion. One Twitter user wrote, and again, you know how they don't credit the actual Twitter handle? Oh, but if they're LGBTQ plus YA fool woohoo, then of course they will actually credit them, won't they? But yeah, you don't have any pronouns in your biog, you're not going to get a mention in Newsweek or any other rag outlet. You know, I'm willing to accept the new design, but I'm sorry, this ain't a race thing. People are mad because this doesn't feel like the Scooby Gang. That's worse is, well, God almighty, who writes this garbage? I can see now why they didn't get a credit. Another fan tweeted, "True diversity is about creating and standing by original content as opposed to using cheap parlor tricks like race changes. Velma is about cheap race changes as opposed to creating something original with original new diverse characters that stand on their own." Even Moist Critical, Charlie, even he had the same issue as well. This is a big YouTuber, and even he was saying if they stuck to the original source and just did what they had to do, it would have been fine. But guess what? Oh, yeah, I guess that wasn't going to happen. I saw this tweet, this response, and I thought it was absolutely priceless. Indian Bronson, obviously a guy that likes Charlie Bronson. Mindy Kaling isn't even the funniest kid from their family. Mindy Kaling's brother, I faked being black to get into medical school. VJ Chokal Ingram says he changed his look to appear black on the right side in case you were kind of mistaken, which is a bit strange. I would have thought it would have been the one on the left when he applied to medical school. I'm pretty sure this guy was given a copy of Soul Man starring C. Thomas Howell from 1986. I'm sure that was a source of inspiration. There you go, go into some original source material. You know what? I'm going to watch the remaining episodes for this show, Velma, when it airs on a Thursday on HBO. I had said in the previous video, it may get a second season. I hope it does, just to see how much more worse it can get. The fate of Fred Jones in this show, he's going to be personified as I think he's, because he's such a beta male at the moment, I think the resounding conclusion will be, you know, when they find out who did it, oh, Jinkies, it was you all this time. He's probably going to be a very toxic mutant white man. I throw mutant into the equation because there might be some sort of Resident Evil shit going on with his character where he might become the toxic white male revenger. Some bullshit like that. And it's gonna fall flat on its face. Yeah, Mindy Kaling, I never watched the American version of The Office. I heard she was okay in it, but the more I hear about her as a person and what she's done with this show and the false narrative, well, you know, we throw Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse. You know, it's a pretty enjoyable film, but I want to watch a Spider-Man film with my Spider-Man, Peter Parker. You know, the old 60s animation, the Spider-Man and his amazing friends, and the awesome, spectacular Spider-Man cartoons. That's my guy right there. He's always been my guy from start to finish. When Miles Morales came out as Spider-Man, people were saying to me, oh, have you seen this dude? I'm like, no. And it was almost like you could hear a pin drop a mile off. It was like nobody gave a shit. I think a lot of people were in mourning for Peter Parker at that point still. So I'm glad in the current Sony Live Spider-Verse, we do have Peter Parker. It's only going to be a matter of time before we do get Miles Morales, Spider-Man, and that whole debate about race starts all over again. And you know, Jamie Foxx in Spider-Man No Way Home, when they had to throw in that line, oh, I thought he was going to be a black kid. I'm like, oh, come on, give me a break, man. You know, why do we have to go there with that? That's just the one little thing that just got on my nerves. And the rest of the film is great. You know, I love Matt Murdock's appearance by Charlie Cox. He's going to get cocked up soon, isn't he, from Disney+. But oh, I did enjoy this. I mean, imagine this guy, Chokal Ingham, is actually more funnier than his more famous sister. So on that one, folks, just do me a couple of favors, and you know what? I'm not even going to say it now. I'm just going to let this VT run by itself, and I'll see you on the next video. Here on Kung Fu Hot Dog, we do not condone or endorse the images of very sexy, beautiful women on this channel. We're a gentleman's channel for sure, but in the most old-fashioned school way possible. However, saying that, oh my god. Oof. I'm just going to cut this video short by saying, if you enjoyed what you saw today, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and if I were you, and if you were me, you better come back for the next video.
I'd buy that for $1.